I reckon it was the 1988 Bicentennial Cup. I can't remember too much about it because I was only 10 years of age, but I would have convinced Mum to let me stay up and watch it. And I do remember the night that I was watching and Charlie Yankos scored. I remember that clear as day, and it was actually a bit of a thrill to stand next to him at the Johnny Warren Medal presentation this year when he presented the Johnny Warren Medal. And yeah, the spark I had for the Socceroos was the fact that I was born here in Australia and I love football, so there was that connection. And I only say that match because I was 10 years of age, because I can't remember much before it. I remember clearly watching a lot of Italian 90 at all those 4 o'clock in the morning wake-ups to watch those kick-off times and thinking, gee, I wish one day Australia could go to this, because it looks something fantastic. I think the fact that, yeah, I started playing when I was 4 years of age, and I'm from Australia, and I loved football from then. I was always going to fall in love with the Socceroos. You could look at it two ways. What's unique about the Socceroos looking outside in is the fact that it's operating in a far-flung place, not known for its football. So our players, whatever age they are, eventually they have to end up going overseas and furthering themselves, especially in years gone by. It's changing a little bit with the A-League. Inside looking out, in terms of being an Australian living here in Australia, what's unique about the Socceroos is it is the team, with maybe the exception of our basketball teams and baseball teams, taking on a worldwide sport and trying to succeed in it. It's not easy. So yeah, I think the fact that we have to test ourselves against we're competing against 210 nations. We're not competing against 8 or 10 or 20. It's competing against the whole entire world in the sport that the whole entire world loves. I've got two memories that really stand out for Socceroos in World Cup action. 2006, our second World Cup, but the first time we scored, when Tim Cahill scored that goal, and it was coming against Japan to get back into that match in Kaiserslautern. I was watching in a pub in Sydney with a bunch of mates, and yeah, it got rowdy. It got pretty rowdy, but I'll never forget that moment when I went in. The sheer adrenaline that went through every single Australian football fan was it was hard to surpass.
Tim Cahill! Australia have done it!
And 2014, when Mile Jedinak scored his penalty. Tim had already done what he did. Tim Cahill scored that goal with his left foot to make it 1-1 against the Netherlands, but to go 2-1 up against the Netherlands in the second match of a group stage, in a group that we were never meant to get out of. As soon as the draw was done 6 months before, it was like, oh, okay, we're done here. But to lead the Netherlands and look around, and I was sitting in a seat where about 50 metres behind me up in the corporate box, the Dutch royal family, and I remember looking around at them and they were stunned. Every single person in orange was stunned in that stadium, whereas every person in gold, or in my case, I had the old sheep shearing singlet underneath my shirt. I got the shirt off and then started twirling that around my head and had the old the bogan singlet on, carrying on like an idiot. It was a moment I'll never forget, never want to forget.
Australia are going to their 4th consecutive World Cup finals.
Oh, it's massive. You can't say, and for here in Australia with the other football codes that we've got, we say, oh, well, we're part of the world football community. We're part of something much bigger than just what's here in Australia. For us then not to partake in the world's biggest football party every 4 years kind of looks a bit stupid. So we have to be at every World Cup we can be.